If you ask an experienced leader what is the reason behind success of their ventures, their companies, or any of their projects they are dealing with, and invariably you will get this answer: three reasons: people, people, and people. Everything starts and ends with surrounding yourself with good people. There's another industry data. They say that every A player would hire A plus players, and B players would hire C players. Things like that. I'm sure you all have heard similar things. What does it mean? That as much as possible we should avoid hiring mistakes, and that is the topic for this video today. For us to hire right type of people is very, very important. Now, despite all of us knowing how important it is for us to surround ourselves with good people, we all are humans. They say to err is human. Even the greatest managers of our generation, Mr. Steve Jobs, he made a blunder in hiring a CEO who later on ended up removing him from his role. In case some of you were not familiar with this story, that it was a long time ago, I think maybe 25, 30 years ago, that Mr. Steve Jobs was heading Apple. Apple was still not as glamorous, as good as it is today, but still a very well-respected technology company. So he wanted to get a CEO, an experienced operating and marketing partner. That was a task that he had set out for himself. And there was one Mr. Scully. Mr. Steve Jobs lured Scully to join Apple by telling him a pitch. Do you want to sell sugared water for the rest of your life, or do you want to come with me and change the world? Well, Mr. Steve Jobs offering you these lines, who could have refused? And of course, Scully joined Apple Computers. Within 2 years, he got bored on his side and kicked Mr. Jobs out. So much so that when Mr. Jobs came back to Apple few years and few fumbles later by Apple, he admitted that the worst mistake of his life was to hire Mr. Scully. So see, everyone is prone to making such hiring mistakes in their life, but you can avoid. You can learn some tricks, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. Number one, prepare well. Often we fail in hiring right people because we just like to wing it. And I must admit, I am one of those guys myself. I rarely prepare before an interview, or before even a talk like this. I should prepare at least for an interview, because when you're hiring a person, you're not only hiring a very important resource who will help you build the company, but you're also uprooting someone who is working somewhere else to come and work for you. So I owe it to my company, and owe it to that person whom I'm hiring, that I must prepare. So should you. We all should prepare before interviewing people. Number two is getting impressed too easily. When I used to hire salespeople, my understanding after hiring many salespeople was that salespeople are very good at selling themselves, so they can impress you very easily. Now, of course, it says good things about them because it means they're good at their trade, but it tells me bad things about myself or you who's hiring them. Because I think we should be able to see through what is correct and what is not correct, what is being twisted and what is being presented openly, directly, transparently. According to Checkster, a reference checking company, about 78% of applicants lie or at least stretch the truth during the hiring process, be it on their resumes or while they are speaking to the recruiter. Now see, this is a very, very astonishing data that we all have. So next time when you're interviewing somebody, be cognizant of this, that there may be different side of the truth being presented to you. So you have to make sure ask enough intelligent questions to be able to see through this. Now, the next one is hiring your own mini-me. Now, interviewees tend to define merits in their own traits. Oh, that's how I do things. That's how things should be done in my department, in my company. You all have heard this. But why do you want to build your team, your company by hiring more people like you? Aren't the strengths of a company, an organization, a project come from the fact that you have diverse set of people bringing complementary skills to make it a grand success? Remember that. You should never hire more people like yourself. Instead, hire people better than you. Going back to the earlier statement I made that A level players always hire A plus. What does it mean? That they always hire people who are better than them. B players hire C players. Why? Because they're insecure about the person being better than them. And of course, there are some people, C players may hire F or may hire another C. So I think remember this as the point that you are not hiring mini-me's, rather you are hiring people who are better than you, who bring complementary skills, diverse set of skills in your organization. And not terminating soon enough. Even to my entrepreneurial friends, my famous statement is fail fast. Same thing I'll say about hiring. Not everyone is made for every environment. Just like, friends, just like restaurants, movies, everything in life is like that. If a person you hire and he's not working out, I think you will be doing him or her a service by letting him go. Talk to that person. Figure out if you can find a way to accommodate this person. If not, better to let him go. Better to relieve him. There may be some initial pain associated with leaving a company that you've just joined, but I think in the long run, he will thank you later, because you have not only relieved him, but also relieved your own company, your own organization of having a person who's not fit to work there. So next one is relying on the gut feel. Many executives like myself, we trust our gut instinct to identify the best candidate during the interview rather than going by a well-defined hiring matrix. What ends up happening? Of course, as an entrepreneur, I always respect my instinct or my gut. But I think more and more, I feel we all should look at the matrix, look at the scores given by the interview panel. And then, of course, you can analyze that and make a final decision following your gut. But gut should be based on the data that is presented to you, not the other way around. Because otherwise, it's called confirmation bias. And that is, they say, is a primary reason that 50% of the hires in the industry do not work out. So my friends, I think I have shared a lot of tips and a lot of reasons to avoid, or a lot of ways to avoid hiring mistakes. So let me conclude this by saying that, no one has all the answers. Even the most experienced of recruiters, interviewees, managers, they don't either. So it is a process that you follow. And of course, through the process you learn and you come up with the right set of tips or right set of matrices that you follow in hiring the right person for the right job in your organization. And at the same time, don't let one wrong hiring decision make you doubt every candidate that comes your way. Thank you.